Hello, hello, everyone. I see a couple of you in here right now. Welcome. This is Christian here. I am going to be the moderator for today. We're going to have Kelly join us. We're going to get started at the top of the hour, so you still have some time, waiting for some others to join us. If you guys have any questions while we wait, feel free to chat those in via the Zoom chat tool. Otherwise, just sit back, relax, and we'll get the show on the road in about 2 minutes. We are going to be joined by Kelly, who's going to be going over basically the profile and the profile signatures and what you should be doing with them. With that being said, I do want to let everyone know that if you have any questions, you can feel free to chat those questions using the Zoom chat tool. You can also use the Q&A option as well. And you can also raise your hand. So that is an opportunity for you guys to ask any questions. The first half, though, I'm just going to point this out. Kelly is going to go over her topic. If you have any questions about that, awesome, ask them. But towards the end, we'll have an open Q&A for anything else that you have questions about. With that being said, Kelly, are you there? Can I pass it over to you?
Hello, Christian. Thanks for passing me the baton. I am also a trainer here at Inside Real Estate. Some of you may have attended my webinars in the past. I hope to see you on future webinars. I also hold the part 3 of the Agent Quick Start tomorrow at, what time is that at, Christian? 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a little bit later if you're on the East Coast. And I'm super excited to be joined today by not only Christian, who is one of our trainers, but one of our, gosh, you know what? I just call her the guru because Annalisa has earned that title over the years that she's been here at Inside Real Estate, and she's kind of the know-all, see-all of kvCORE, the oracle of kvCORE. And I asked Annalisa to pop in today because we were just kind of chatting about some of the fun things that you can do with your profile. And Annalisa and I, we always bounce ideas off of each other. And I was like, you know what, Annalisa, come join me today. It'll be fun. We'll do it as a group. So, Christian, it's the 3 of us today.
Very cool. I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is really just a couple of basic, what we like to call, Annalisa, what do we call this? Our top 5 things to remember in the profile.
Yeah, I think it's like your top 5 to-do list. Like if you do anything in your profile,
if there's anything you do,
button down first.
These are the things to do. So when you first log in, if we have any new users from kvCORE joining us, I really encourage you to go take a look at your profile. So I'm going to start from the beginning because it's always the best place to start, right? Put one foot in front of the other. So from your main dashboard, you have this sidebar menu over here that has a lot of your day-to-day functions in it, and you spend most of your time actually working as an agent over here. But little did you know that in this little flyout menu that's under your name, you have access to your profile. And now, generally speaking, most of you should have access to just about everything that's in here. If you don't, it's simply because your brokerage may already have steps in place, or an intermediary, is that how you say it, juncture where some of this information already pulls over from a source in your existing brokerage. But most of the time you should have access to edit this. So when you're in your profile, there are really 5 things that you want to focus on first. One is getting your profile picture in here. So if you don't have a picture in here, it's super easy to do it. You can click on this, you can hover on your name. Well, first of all, we should edit. Go into edit. Once you edit, you'll be able to drag your image in. So if you have your file folder open on one side of your window and you just drag and drop it, it'll fall into place here. If you click on it, it'll allow you to upload a new one directly from your computer, which I don't think you can see my screen, but it did work. So you can upload your photo here. Why is this important? Well, because in your personal website, which by the way, you can access from that little flyout menu as well, you can see that you have options to display your photo right here. And it will show up on your personal website. So you want to make sure, because this is visible to the public, you want to make sure that this is in here. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, and I believe we already had a question about this, Christian. Didn't we have a question about your MLS ID number?
Yeah, we already did. Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead and shoot out what that question was, and we'll respond to it right now.
So Natalie was wondering if you could support more than one MLS ID for one kvCORE account. And I do want to say that is the case. You can. The way you would set that up is by each MLS ID being separated by just a comma, not a space, just a comma. That's all you would need.
And so I'm just I'm just making up MLS ID numbers here. You know what yours are. If you don't know what your MLS ID number is, maybe you're a new agent. If you have any listings right now, print out a copy of that listing, do like the agent full in your MLS, and then just shoot it over to support and they'll help you find it and they'll put it in there for you. So you just use commas, no spaces to add those in there. I do want to kind of give you a preemptive cautionary flag. Sometimes we throw up the caution flag. Yes, kvCORE absolutely does support multiple MLSs, but you got to remember you have to be a member of that MLS in order for those listings to show up. So if you're not a member, FYI, it's not going to work.
And I think the difference is if you're part of a team entity, a company entity, an office entity, you're covered as part of that with your entity, right? But if you're looking at your own individual membership, that's a different type of.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. So the next thing you're going to want to do is fill out what we call it your NERDS number, but it really stands for your National Association of Realtors ID number. So your NERDS number is usually, and it's usually the same one that you use to log into your NAR account if you have one. That's what that is there. You probably have a badge with your name on it that has your NERDS number on it. Again, if you don't have it, check with your broker because your broker will have it. So that's what you'd put here. You don't have to worry about this vendor ID. It really doesn't apply to anybody here. We use this internally, so just skip this part. Now, obviously, the self-explanatory stuff is this stuff right here in the middle. I'm going to skip this for now, but if you have any questions, feel free to pop in and ask them. But I wanted to focus on kind of the what's and the whys and the how-tos of setting up both your About Me section and your signature.
And the fun stuff within. There's all sorts of groovy stuff you can do.
Exactly, because I've seen some agents that get stumped and leave this blank, but this is an area that does show up on your forward-facing consumer website. So don't skip it. So I get a lot of questions asked about, well, gosh, you know what? I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to put in here. What, how do I want to?
I hear that all the time.
Right, all the time. It's like, where do I start? I'm not an English major. I sell houses.
Or I don't want to toot my own horn or sound overconfident or put anyone off. So I think it's finding a balance of what it is you're offering your community and how they can use it, knowing they can trust you as a source. So I think it's kind of your phrasing.
It is. It's going to be in all how you message it yourself. So there's basically a few things you want to consider. You want to ask yourself a few things. One, what's my background? And how is this going to make me a great real estate agent? So, think about that. Where did you come from? What did you do before you were in real estate? What is it that you think is going to separate you based on your experiences? It's going to make you better than, the next agent down the street. Number two, where am I located and what's my local knowledge of this area? I can't even begin to tell you how important that is to be known as the local area expert in your neighborhood, because that is really a big key difference. The more hyper local you are in how you present yourself, that does provide insider information. I always tell people when I do a listing, and you'll see it if any of you ever see any of my listings, I always put a blurb at the bottom that says, as a local area agent, I have unique information about this neighborhood. As the listing agent, I have unique information about this area and this listing. Contact me. That kind of is a teaser to why they need to be contacting you directly, as opposed to some out-of-area agent that happens to be their cousin or their neighbor that just started real estate, right? Doesn't that happen sometimes, Annalisa?
A little more often than not. And then the new year rolls around and goodbye. They don't stick usually. Yeah.
Exactly. So number three, what's my track record and how does this set me apart from my agents? And I don't care if you're a brand new agent. I don't care if you've been an agent for the last 30 years. Everybody has a track record in something. Even if you are just getting started and you're brand new and the ink is still setting and drying on your real estate license, you have a background. You have a track record of some sort. Historically, I have done this. If you do have some sales under your belt, if you know what your sales volume is and you're tracking that, which you should. If you're not, you absolutely should be. Don't be afraid to put facts down. Facts speak for themselves. So you should be tracking your sales volume. You should be tracking your number of sales, your buy signs, your sell signs, your days on market rates. You should put your things like your days on market, how long did it go from listing to contract. All of those stages of your contract and your listings or even working with buyers. You know, how long did you work with a buyer before you got your your offer accepted, especially in this market where it's a crazy market. You know, one of the things that I pride myself on is that I tend to beat out other agents and get my offers accepted because I'm a local area agent that knows the market. I write strong offers. I pre-approve my buyers. All of those things lend to your credibility as an agent and should be reasons why people would choose you over somebody else. So
and those can also go into like their presentations for buyers or sellers as well. So if you're using Core Present, these are all things as you're thinking about this and taking like mental inventory of yourself and who you are and what you offer, right? And really taking stock of that. These are things that you can pepper into any of your presentations, depending on the audience. You can pick and choose elements, right, that might relate to them stronger. So once you have this kind of, you know, sussed out,
right,
then you can really create some really awesome pieces.
As a matter of fact, use this as your first draft for your listing presentations, whether you're using Core Present or if you're doing it on your own. Should be the foundation for any listing presentation anyway. You're really just bubbling it up. You're rolling it up into a roll-up report that fits in a nice, simple paragraph. Plus, there's more. There's even more exciting things.
Oh.
Now, if you're a new agent, why did you choose real estate as a career? Because that in and of itself is going to provide value. You know, why are you passionate about real estate? How does this make you a better real estate agent than somebody else? How is this going to make you separate you? Even though you may not have the, you know, the years of real estate experience, maybe you came from a job that was already in sales and your proven track record in that previous job is what, you know, one of the reasons you decided to move into real estate sales is that you can use all of those same skill sets that you had. Maybe you were a manager in a previous job. Maybe you have, you know, you're just getting out of school. I don't know what it is, but using the power of the knowledge of what you have that makes you, you know, going to be that go-to agent is going to be really helpful.
This really reminds me of a conversation I had with a young woman. She must have been probably 19 or 20. At the grocery the other day when she was helping me with the bring stuff out, and basically she's like, "Oh, are you in real estate?" I think I had inside real estate hat on or something, and I'm like, "Well, no, but I help coach people and I'm in the industry." And she's like, "Oh, I really want to be an agent." And I was like, "Okay, well," she's like, "But I don't think I can do it." And she had already like discounted herself immediately. And I'm like, "Well, hold on." I'm like, "Let's look at your grand scheme." I'm like, "You already exhibit customer service. You already know how to talk with strangers and have a well-informed conversation." So I'm like, don't dismiss that as, "Oh, I'm just a cart person or I'm just helping with groceries." I'm like, no, you're exemplifying customer service and you are forward-facing initial contact with that store. I'm like, this is what you're serving and representing. So don't discount that. And then she was like, "Huh." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, like, you just haven't been out there to know the workforce, but don't discount these simple things you might think of."
So I'm going to pop these 4 questions in the chat box in case any of you want to have them for your own reference. Feel free to copy and paste yourself. But use this when you're writing this out and then simply go back and answer them. So if you look at mine is pretty simple. It's short but sweet. Kelly has a degree in liberal studies and education is her passion. Helping others achieve their goals has always been a primary mission statement, whether it's in coaching, training real estate agents to be their best professional selves or helping families achieve their real estate goals. Kelly is there to help every step of the way. And I go on to talk about, you know, and again, I talk about myself in a third person because that's just kind of how I roll. You could certainly say it in the first person. That's up to you. But I figure it's going to be on my website, so I'd use the third person. But, you know, it doesn't need to be an 8-page thesis. You don't need to worry about writing out nobody's going to read it anyway. Honestly, 4 simple sentences will probably get the job done. If you answer those 4 questions in a seemingly eloquent way, you're going to get the job done. And here's the beauty of it. This information passes along through your consumer-facing website. So when you've created this, it's going to show up on the bottom of your website, down here at the bottom. And it's going to show up down there. And it's also going to show up in your agent section under your agent profile. Now, what I want to show you is a little hidden nugget that Annalisa showed me earlier today, which I thought was super cool. Annalisa, I'm going to be your Vanna White. Walk me through this.
Oh, well, on today's contestants, no. Okay, can I buy a vowel?
There you go.
Okay, so basically you can have a simple text-based, like black and white biography, right? However, you can also drop HTML code in here, which is pretty groovy. And it's kind of an Easter egg within kvCORE because looking at this, you might say, well, there's nothing formatting like there is for my signature.
Like, yeah, I know, that's
right?
what I was looking for.
Me
There's
too,
no
right?
formatting here.
So here's your Easter egg. You can actually go and if you have a video that you're like, hey, this is Kelly and I love Murrieta or Riverside or whatever it is, right? You can actually go to YouTube or Vimeo and grab the code, the embed code. And basically, when you go to a video on YouTube and you click the share button.
Here, let me go grab just to go to video and I'll walk you through this.
Any one of them will work,
Yeah. Oops, YouTube. So maybe we'll just find one about, real estate. We'll just look up real estate. If I could spell correctly, estate agents. There you go. So we'll just grab one of these. Here we go. How much do real estate agent makes? Okay, so from here.
Yeah, you'll click the share button. And then the logo there with a little greater than, less than, that is your embed code icon. So you click on that and then you just click copy on the code on the bottom right, or you can just highlight and copy. But you want to grab that entire link, entire span of information.
Yeah.
Then you can go right back into your biography and just paste that link right on in.
And it's going to look ugly. You're going to be afraid. You're going to go, what? This doesn't work.
Yeah, this view ain't so pretty.
Yeah.
But when you look at your actual finished product after you've saved your About Me biography section, then you'll see the video embedded on the front side of your site and on your biography.
So if I go back to my website now and I refresh it, and then I go back down to the bottom where the About Me section is, well, it's got the original one in there. Ba-boom.
No,
you've got your video.
You had Astley in there.
I did too, but apparently it didn't pull that one. It still got the original one. That's okay.
So you plan a Rick roll and it goes.
I know.
Awry.
I did. I was going to Rick roll everybody on this call today, but that's okay.
Next time.
But it does show up here.
Yeah, and it gives you the ability. And if you go to the actual agent biography, you'll see it here as well.
Under the agent profile.
Yeah,
it shows.
And there is, and if you look at this, you may see a titch of an overlap on the little call out box for calling you and the video. It's just kind of how it is. You could always put the video below things or in the middle of the text and it won't matter. That's just because
that's what I should have done is gone and just moved this over here. Now, because I just put it up at the top. So that's probably a good little Easter egg as well, is to maybe take the iframe code and cut it and just maybe put it down here in the middle somewhere.
And the other thing also that I was thinking of, as Kelly and I were talking about this earlier, I'm like, you're not limited just to HTML for the video. You could, if you have any chops with HTML, of course, you could build in a very nice formatted biography. However, if you're listening to this right now going, oh yeah, right, sure, I'm all over this HTML.
Yeah, HTML to me is a giant wall of text.
Yeah. So what I am going to work on and kind of noodle around is trying to see if I can come up with like a little plug and play where I can give you, okay, drop the title of your biography here, just type it in or paste it in. Type your video code in here, type in your first paragraph or sentence, and then you can copy the code from there and drop it in. So I'm going to play around with that to see if I can make it easier for you. If you're looking at this one, it's going to make me twitchy to try HTML. So
exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, what she's going to get into here is actually a built for you little workaround with HTML for you with the Siggy. So I'm excited to hear about that. But we'll get some information out about this part of the biography, and I'll work on creating a little easy guide,
a little plug and play.
Yeah.
So stand by, keep an eye out for a new article. We'll get one added to the support portal for you. Okay, so again, I think it's really important, and it's sort of an underutilized tool here. Love the fact that you can drop video in. If you've ever been on my webinars before, I'm a huge fan of video. Anytime you can put something about yourself in actual real life mediums like a video, it's going to express really who you are and make that connection on a personal level. So I encourage you to put some videos in there.
Well, and as consumers, that's what we watch now.
Exactly. And our attention span is not that long. So it doesn't need to be a 1 hour, about you section on YouTube. It's just a quick introduction. And it could be something as simple as, hey, I'm Kelly Bajarski. Thank you so much for being on my website today. I know you've got a lot of choices out there, but if you just take a look at, a few reasons why I'm a little different than every other real estate agent, I really think you're going to choose me as your agent. Call me at blah, 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 or text this to this number for more information, or start searching. Give me, ask me a question, whatever you want to put on there.
And I think one thing to keep in mind is also when you speak of video, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be on the video. I don't know the first thing about it. It makes me nervous, or it's not my thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you talking into the camera. It can be something as simple as, like, if you've ever been on a webinar with myself or Ryan or Heather or Kelly or whomever, you can have a video where you're narrating it and you're just sitting looking at your website. Hey, welcome to my website. Welcome to, learn about me. Check out my biography below, point down. But then you can switch over to your website view and say, don't forget to set up your own alerts on top of what I have. Don't forget to save a property and you'll get automatically apprised if it goes reduced or off market. Don't forget to sign up for a market report if there's an area that you're interested in, or click on an area at the bottom of my page to see all of the listings in that area. So there's all sorts of ways you can start a tour and encourage your contacts to use your site, that it's safe and secure. We don't sell your information. There's a lot of things you can really pepper in there to have them want to use your site and trust you.
100% agree. And I use Screencast-O-Matic. Why? Because it's free and that's my favorite price tag. But there's others out there that you can use. And I'm the same way. Sometimes I don't want to be in front of the camera, but having a video walkthrough of how to use your website, that's genius, right?
Yeah.
So you can record for free. You can use their paid for service. You can use Loom. There's a bunch of other services out there. But as long as you've got a microphone, give somebody a tour of your website, because then you can just throw it up on your YouTube video and on your channel and use it in lots of different places.
Yep.
And of course, I'm all about repurposing. So if you're going to do that intro to using your website, put it on your About Me section. Add it as a link in your signature.
Put it in a smart campaign.
Put it in a smart campaign so that it goes out. Add it into a landing page. I mean, there's all sorts of applications. Blog about it. There's tons of different applications that you can use those videos that you create. So, just a little side plug for using video. Okay, so we talked about 4 of the 5. First one, photograph. Got to get your photo in there. Second.
Oh, one thing I think you forgot to mention, Kelly, when you bring your photo in, you're going to see like a little trash can, a little pencil to edit, or a little up arrow. Click the up arrow to save your image.
Good call out. Good call out. And so you've got your photo, you've got your MLS ID, separated by commas, no spaces, your NERDS number, skip the vendor ID, don't worry about that. Fill out all the rest of this contact information, do your About Me section, and then work on your signature. Now, this is a clean palette here. This is blank real estate. And this blank real estate, because I've got this little button toggled on, means that I'm going to send this signature out on every piece of email correspondence that's going to go out with that I use on kvCORE. This is like the master override button. If you want to be a little bit more personal or in control of that feature, just turn it off. But if you do turn it off, make sure that you're using either merge tags or you're turning the toggle on individually in the emails that you send.
Right.
Most of the time, we just leave it on. That way, let it rip. It's going out. You can always sign it, personally above it, but at least it's going to go out on all those emails. So when you're doing your signature, the easiest way to add a signature is obviously just to type it out, which can be, it can get the job done. Kelly Bajarski, trainer, and then add your information, that, and the other. Couple things you're going to note when you start doing this. If you are typing and you just enter your phone number, however you enter it, you'll notice the spaces are kind of large here. So if you want to change this, it all has to do with this paragraph that's right up here.
It's a pre-formatting thing like you might have if you're going to do chapters in Word or Google Doc or something.
Exactly. It's basically a simple word editor. That's what this is. So you can go back to pre-formatted, and it basically strips it out and strips all that pre-formatting out. In which case, now you see that this is actually an individual space that was in between it, and I can get rid of it. So you can create your own basic one here if you like. If you already have a beautiful signature.
Can you change your font?
You can. Yes, you can change your font. We have all sorts of choices to choose from here. I don't know about using your own personal or customized font. That might be a question for support. Have you ever gotten that one, Christian?
It's the fonts only here and the sizes. Yeah.
Good to know. Unless you're using what?
HTML.
Good old HTML. We love that. Okay. So you can always type it out here. Now, let's talk about again the fact that this is real estate that you're using here. So just putting your basic contact information in here is one thing, but this is real estate. Take advantage of it as if it's your own little mini flyer going out every single time, or your own postcard that's going out every single time it's on an email. What do we put on those postcards? What do we put on those flyers? We put calls to action that does what? Takes them out of their email and onto your website. Yep. The whole goal is to take them out of your email and onto your website. So when you do that, exactly, it's all roads lead back to your website. So you can put, insert your stuff here. This is your basic, your basic email signature, but don't forget to put your calls to action. Check out these great homes for sale in whatever. We'll put a zip code, 92563, something like that.
So I put these in every setup that I complete for people. So I've got a couple of go-tos. So one of them is like, click here to see what your home may sell for in today's market. And then the click here is hyperlinked to your valuation site or your valuation link on your website.
And for those of you that don't know how to do those, you just highlight what you want the hyperlink to be, and then you use this little chain link up here. And so in this chain link, what are we going to do? We're going to add something like a market report. We're going to add, in this case, we're going to put the home valuation. So we might even just go grab a link to your home valuation page. I mean, you could.
Yeah,
you just go right up here.
Cell tab and you got it.
Go to your cell tab, grab your home valuation page because you're taking them back to your website. Grab that and use that as your URL.
Yep.
Now, I will tell you this: when you use this URL, I always change this from current window over to new window, because that means when they're in their email and they click here, if you left it in current window, it's gonna move their email, it's gonna close their email and open it up in that same place. But if you do new window, it just opens it up side by side. So something to consider. I always like to do a new window. It's a little less irritating when they don't lose their space in their email.
And I want to keep I want to keep all my branding in front of them.
Yeah, exactly right. So you can use your basic formatting stuff and, make things bold and italicized and, the whatnots, all the basic stuff that you would do. But, if you have a really beautiful signature already in your Gmail account or your Outlook or wherever you have it set up over there, you can always grab that one. So here's mine. This is my senior trainer one that I grabbed, and it was in my Gmail, so I just copied it. Now, if I go over here and I replace this, right here, I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to do Control V, or do I do Shift Control V for this?
So either way, normally I recommend, if you're going to do anything in a signature like this that could affect a look online or an email, I would say Shift Control V, because it strips away any code that you're bringing with you. So like if you're blogging, that's like one of my tips. If you're blogging from something,
this really did
from something online,
this stripped everything.
It strips everything, the code and everything. But if you do the Control V, then it puts it in as you see it. So there's options. I mean, it works either way.
So I just did paste. I just did right copy and paste. So, it's just as easy as doing that. But again, use those hyperlinks, use text codes. This is a great place to put a text code for more information about homes for sale in, 92563, text, text the word
number.
home to, and then put your smart number in there and use that as a call to action. So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, if you think about what's going to entice people to want to do that. So like what I've learned from Ryan Hartman is like phrasing. So it could be like, text this code to this number to get a list of homes that buyers are becoming increasingly motivated to sell.
Mm-hmm. For fixer-uppers.
Yeah, so you can, it's like the phrasing on the urgency, like you have to create that want. So I think about kind of like that little hooky.
Yeah, what you're going to do there. Now, for those of you that already have a beautiful signature that's already in place, or you'd like to get a really beautiful signature, I stumbled across a software. Now, I got to fully give the disclaimer here. I do not sell, I do not endorse, I do not support any of the technology. I just use it. So this
Yeah.
is, it's called WiseStamp. And WiseStamp is a software product that just creates beautiful email signatures. And so I happened to stumble across this the other day. And of course, I bought it because
So rad.
it's
So
super cool. And they were having a Cyber Monday special on it, which I think is still going on right now. And
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
get this for, what is it now? It's like $3 a month.
I think it's $280 a month, and they bill annually. And again, they're not affiliated with IRE, but
No.
it's amazing what you can do with this signature builder.
So this is my signature that I use currently for my own real estate. And you can do multiple signatures here. So I'll go in here and I'll do the one that I was practicing for inside real estate. So I was doing one over here, and it's just as easy as building out a new signature. Hang on, it's going to switch over. And you can do all sorts of really cool stuff in here. So if you don't have an email signature, Anne says she's already got a good one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you already, do you use WiseStamp, Anne, or what do you use? Oh, she already left. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you can do some pretty cool stuff in here, and it's easy to use. You just fill out the details in your signature details, upload your logo. You can connect your social media, which become clickable links. So I added those in here. You can add, you can use a different template. So I use the basic one, but I mean, you could play around with them and see which one really gives you the best, version of you. So you have templates here. They have different designs, so you can change out your color schemes, the shapes of the images, the details, even the, the thickness of the line that's here. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to add and make it more personalized for you. And this is the part that I love the best, is the app section allows you to create all sorts of amazing calls to action. And you can build in other cool things. So like if you wanted to have a styled sign off, how fun is this? Kind regards. And then you have your name underneath it. You can change the size on it. You can change the design. You can add in disclaimers. I know a lot of you like to add in disclaimers that are about, creating your own custom disclaimers, about privacy and third-party information, things like that. There's a couple you can choose from here as well. It also has an Instagram and image gallery, so you can pull in photos of your social media. Again, just makes you look more present in the tech world, knowing that you've got actual Instagram content in there. You can add a green footer in that allows you to, please consider whether you need to really print this out or not. I think that's kind of specific to what I'm all about. So I might add in a green footer. You can build in your own video. So if you want to add your video into your signature, there you go. If you want to put a quote of the day in here about business, the cool thing about this is that it swaps out every week. You don't even have to worry about changing it. It always updates on its own for you. So you can add in your own quotes. You can add in a join your newsletter section. So in your newsletter, if you want people to sign up here, and if you don't have a newsletter, change the verbiage for it. I did. What do you think I put in here, Annalisa? In the title section for the newsletter, I used it to get your free home valuation. Yeah, absolutely. And then you can add your own your URL link, and I can put, again, maybe I just take the link from here from my website and drop it in. Oops, sorry, I was in Wise Agent, and drop it in right here. Now, I did notice, by the way, that it already has the HTTPS in there, so you might want to make sure that you don't have it twice. And then so you've got that in there. You can change the color schemes. You can change what the icons look like. I mean, there's just lots of cool stuff you could do in here. When you end, so I can add that in. You can add in a calendar app. So if you have an online scheduler, book your appointment for your free listing presentation, book an appointment with me here. You can add in an online scheduler. It also works with their solution, but you can also use your own scheduling provider. So if you use Calendly or your Gmail or something like that, you can book in a meeting. You can add that in directly yourself. So I love that it has all these options in here to make a really beautiful signature. And once you do, and you go to update it, guess what it has? HTML. So I can take the HTML and I can copy it, and then I can just go swap that out in my HTML here in the signature. So it's easy to do once you've got it in here. And don't be surprised if it gives you this blank look the first time, because it's going to do that while it's in edit mode. But when you save it and you send it, and I've tested them, it works just fine. So again, I'm using this signature as an area of real estate. It's my own mini version of a postcard or a flyer. So I really have found that this has been a kind of a game changer for me. Like I said, I don't work for YStamp. I get nothing from it, but I thought this was pretty cool. Christian, what do you think? Did you learn something new today?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Cool.
YStamp is pretty cool. I literally just heard about it first yesterday on the the next level training that we did.
Oh, there you go.
Literally yesterday. So this is kind of exciting. Really funny that you brought this up. I was like, oh, really?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I just wanted to know, like you've mentioned before, blogs. Now, do you recommend putting blogs in your signature there?
Yeah, why not? It's another way to redirect them back to your website.
Okay.
You could add in a different custom, you can add in custom links here. If you're doing, even if you're just doing your own, if you're not using, YStamp or something like that, use a hyperlink, use a text code that links back to a blog post. That's the beauty of using hyperlinks, is that you can hyperlink just about anything to anywhere on your site. It's just a matter of using a unique call to action. Give them a reason. Check out these cool homes for sale in this area. And of course, when they click on it, where is it going to take them? Over
right
to a list.
Site.
Yeah, right to your site, back to a list of properties. And hopefully they're going to sign up as a, maybe a lead. And the beauty of this is, when you're sending it out on via email, who are you sending it to? A lot of times you're sending it to people that that may pass it along to somebody else. So, definitely is a viable source of lead generation.
I was just thinking about something you could also do if you're doing like a specialized newsletter for specific resources or groups of folks out there. You could say, to opt in for a newsletter on the market in XYZ area, text this code to this number, or you could embed a squeeze page. But if you did either way with a squeeze page, or like a squeeze page for a market report or the text code, you could use the hashtag that they're coming in on as your newsletter list. And it just continually feeds itself, because you can use a saved filter as a newsletter send list. So there's a lot of ways you can organize people as they're signing up for something, and they just land on that route for information.
That's
like you would with a smart campaign or a hashtag trigger for a listing alert. You could do the same thing to get them added to a newsletter list.
Yeah, no, that's a really good call out.
Thanks.
Christian, any questions coming in?
It doesn't seem like too many people are asking questions here, but I'll just, restate, guys, if you need to ask us any questions, feel free to chat those in or raise your hand. One thing I did want to ask about, though, Kelly, with the About Me section, I know you put out that list of questions there from before. Can I just maybe add something to that?
100%, always.
I always like to say this is the one time that you can brag about yourself. The About Me section to me is all about that, right? You're talking about yourself. Now, in terms of your own experience, obviously never lie and push forth any kind of false information. But do you feel like embellishing your feats and stuff is a good way to kind of promote the About Me section? Like, hey, if you won an award for being Agent of the Year, do you think you should have that there?
Well, that's not embellishing. That's using an actual award. Embellishing is kind of like, stretching
a white lie.
Yeah, that's a white lie. We don't want to do that.
Sure.
But if you did, I firmly believe that if you have any facts to back up your feats of accomplishment, yes. If I was the #1 salesperson for 3 years running, put that in there. That's an earned achievement. If you have any designations. A lot of times people outside of the real estate industry, if you're bilingual, if you speak multiple languages, if you're familiar with multiple areas, all of that information is absolutely 100% reasons to choose you as their real estate agent.
And I think it's considering your demographic, like who do you normally work with the most? Who's gravitated towards you? So like, I know that I've worked with one gal who's come to coaching a lot with Heather and I. Her focus is helping people downsize. So she has a very large senior community that she services. So she has information peppered in there about, this is who I've worked with in the community. This is who I've helped get into a home before their home was sold. This is who we arranged the move for with our concierge service, so they didn't have to worry about it. So it's looking at who you know, who you can network with to make life easier for your demographic. That's really as easy as it gets. So kind of considering those different facets that might hit someone. So like if you were to go through, like think about it, if you were to go through what everyone had to go through to move and get things connected and moved and everything, what would you need from your agent?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think if you put yourself in those shoes, you might be like, oh, well, I could probably talk to this guy downtown. And then there's that new company on the east side that could probably fulfill this. So, you know, you can look at all of those opportunities there.
That's, I think that's great feedback. So switching gears, Bo asked a question about, well, you know, how do we create those market reports and listing evaluations, seller reports, and even core present? Okay, that's a lot to chew off in one bite, but I'm going to break it down a little bit. So when we're talking about adding in those links or, you know, something into your signature, obviously you can go to the front page of your website and grab just about any link you want from here. But what I encourage you to do is either build it as a squeeze page link, which is covered in part 4, which is on Thursday. So make sure you go to the part 4 session with Brett, because they talk all about building landing pages and squeeze pages, but setting up your contacts on market reports and setting your contacts up on listing alerts, that is all done in the contact record. So if you wanted to go into, say, Billy Madison, for example, and you wanted to start sending him a market report, he's already got one. So let's take this one out.
And I just linked everyone to my entire list of articles and things for mass emails, newsletters, reports. So you all have them linked in chat right now.
So if you wanted to say set up Billy on a market report for 92563 so that he gets it on, you know, maybe every 3 weeks or so, you'd go into market reports and you would choose the area, the location, the neighborhood, the zip code, let's just say 92563, and you choose that area, because this is pulling from your MLS, and then you choose the frequency of when you want it sent. I'm going to send it every 21 days, and I'm going to add it. Done. I don't have to worry about it. Set it, forget it, done. Now, I will suggest when you do set up somebody individually on a market report, use that as an opportunity to try and re-engage with them or let them know that you're providing something of value to them. So what I like to do, and I call it the 1-2 punch. Anytime I do 2 things in kvCORE, it's that 1-2 punch. I go in and I add either a note or assign myself a follow-up task saying, you know, I set him up on a market report for every 3 weeks. I need to follow up with him in 2 weeks to make sure that he's enjoying the, you know, information I'm sending him. Did he get it? Does he need me to change it? Blah, 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 blah. So you'd set that up as a follow-up. And then I also add in notes. I always like to add a documented note about what I did and why I did it. And if it was really important, I'm going to pin it to the top, because these timelines get really long. These timelines down here, the longer you have somebody in here like Billy Madison, who's been in here for about 1.5 years, these get really long. And these notes can be, they can slip through the cracks. So I like to pin the ones at the top that I think are the most important so that I never lose track of them. So that's what I do anytime I do something in one of these actionable items over here, whether it's building out a market report, setting them up on a smart campaign, or even adjusting a listing alert for them. Now, question came about Core Present. Not everybody in this call today may have Core Present, but if you do, if your brokerage has opted in, we call it a bonus add-on. That's a bonus product. It will be available in your marketing section under Core Present. Now we have an entire quick start course that's all about how to use Core Present, which you can access in the support and training section under, or you can actually even go in here to the learning portal and you can search for it. It's called the Core Present Quick Start, I believe. Quick Start for Core Present. And I would just probably go right here to all courses. And I would go to Core Present, which I don't know if it's right here. I'm just gonna click on it. Core Present and search. This is pretty much how you search most things. You know, I've noticed when I just pull that, it doesn't search real easily for me.
You have to be as simple as possible.
I guess so. I'm just going to type it in.
One word.
How about
I use a word.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. It's down in here. It's in the courses that are here. Okay. I'm just going too fast for my own brain. But I would take the Core Present Quick Start course. But if you want to just check it out, Core Present is super easy to use, not difficult at all. It's about building out CMAs to win your listings, buyer tours, as well as doing listing presentations. So once you go in and after you customize your settings for the very first time, this portion is kind of set it and forget it, where you choose your style, maybe some fonts. This is also an area where in your listing presentations, that About Me section that you did over in your profile, it will automatically pull in for the first time in your personalized content here. So you should be able to go in and see your About Me section in here, and just know that if you go in and override it, and if you type something else out, it's not going to keep pulling it back in. It's going to stay static and stationary. So it should pull it in for the first time directly from your About Me section. So again, that's kind of another cool feature. And once you set up your personalized presentations and you go back to do a Core Present, what it does is it's a really cool feature that allows you to create CMAs and presentations that are interactive, that allow you to track things like how long they spent looking at properties, how long, when did they log in? Did they view the presentation? How long did they view it? How long did they look at a property? And it's very interactive, and it has these analytics for you. And we save and store all of your previous presentations. It's easy as updating your existing CMA or creating a brand new one, either to win your listing by creating a CMA, creating a buyer. We call these winning the offer. These are presentations as to where your pricing is coming from when you're deciding on an offer to write with your buyers. You can create an entire listing presentation or even do a buyer tour. So this is a great additional feature. Bo, I would really encourage you to go check out that Core Present Quick Start course. What other questions came in? Anything else, Christian?
Yeah, we had a really interesting question coming in from Janet Ross here. She just asked, what is the best way to communicate with a lead immediately? What platform should you use? Should it be on the desktop? Should you use the app? Something along those lines, I feel like is a great way to maybe just segue into what we might want to look at next. The automation there from the system is always going to be faster than you. It's a computer.
Before we jump through that, I just want to loop back real quick on Core Present. Someone just wanted to make sure, hey, is Core Present added only through the broker? Yes. So if you don't have it, talk with your broker, talk with your admin, say we saw something super groovy that I think would help us because of XYZ. Let's take a look. And then they'd be able to talk to their account manager here to talk about adding it on.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, with that being said, the automated communication that you have in the system, Kelly, if you could just open up a lead profile real quick and point out to where all that was, that's going to be the fastest way you can ever communicate with somebody, just because, hey, if you're not available, if you're not in front of your phone, if you're not there to send the communication, this is going to be your best bet. The active or smart campaigns are most likely what will engage with your leads almost immediately, at least from the default perspective that's already in the system. Your default campaigns should do that. Now, if you're looking to just manually engage, either via the phone app, you can use that, or right here from the desktop, Kelly, if you just want to exit out of that real quick and just show the dashboard and show them how easy it is to just email or communicate with a lead right from there. Yep, that's all you need to do is just click on email or text or call, and it just brings it up. And you don't even have to really build anything out. Just send that right now.
And I'm a firm believer that I try to speak at the level and in the method and medium of which I was asked. So if somebody pops in a question from my website and they ask me a question, the easiest thing to do is answer it right here, because it's going to go back out to them in the same way it came in. So I'm going to answer them here this way. If I got a new lead notification that somebody was on my website, I always use the activity stream. Hey, this person has been looking at properties via their desktop. I might stand a better chance if I tried to email them. Versus if I see somebody who's just searching on their mobile device all the time, maybe texting them may be the way to go. Now, I mean, we all know that texting is probably going to, everybody looks at their texts, not everybody looks at their emails. So texting is always my preferred method, but I'm also old school. I'm an agent that picks up the phone and calls people. I call and text, and I believe in the 1-2 punch. I'll call somebody, I'll leave a voicemail, I'll say, hey, I got your voicemail, wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kelly with ABC Realty. I saw you on my website. I just want to make sure that you had all the information you needed for that property at 123 Main Street. I'm going to send you a text too. Call or text me back, whatever works for you. And then I send them a text message, and I text them back and say, hey, I just left you a voicemail, but if you need more information about 123 Main Street, I'm here for you. Done.
I wanted to point out that if you're looking at this and you're like, well, who is texting me? Who is communicating by phone? You can go into your smart CRM and into your filter. You can choose the statuses. I usually just skip them and I go right into like contact details. So maybe I want to go to contact details and see all my buyers or all my sellers, right? Then I can go into the next section that has a, we'll say has a phone number, has email, or one or the other, it doesn't matter. Has a phone's good.
Okay, we'll just do
we'll just do has a phone. And then behavior, towards the very bottom of this section, you can tell yourself, okay, who's responded to me via text, email, or phone? And then you can start mirroring how they're communicating with you. The other thing you can do right below this is if you want to make sure, like today, maybe today you're going, oh, I can see who saved a property, or hey, I can see who was last active or whatever. You can go in here and see if someone's asked a question, requested a showing, in what time frame, to make sure you're catching up on these communications and they're not slipping through the cracks. So this is a really good place to kind of check yourself before you wreck yourself kind of moment. And then you can say, I want to see who's been active last week. So I've touched base with them, apply filter, and then you see the list. So
and to that, one step further, if it's something that you find yourself doing more than once a week and it's all the time and you're like, wow, this is really a great strategy, I'm going to use this, save the filter. Save it, give it a name, call it my Tuesday list, things I do on Tuesdays, my unresponsive, my last spoken to, whatever you want to call it, give it a name, and then it'll become a save filter. And those save filters are really cool features in kvCORE because not only can you easily find them right here in the save filters list, but they also show up in a couple of other places. If you have a list of all of your buyers that have phone numbers and you save that as, that were last active in the last week, that becomes a filter you can choose from on your app, on your phone.
For a dialer?
And it's a filter there. And if you do the ones that have responded via email, maybe you'd go over to the marketing section and use that once a week to send out a scheduled mass email, because that's an option to choose from when you schedule an email, is send to contacts that have matching criteria from a saved filter. So they do show up in a couple of other places that are going to be really helpful for you with your follow-up. So I'm always telling people, save your email lists, save those people that are really active. And those are the ones that you want to be communicating with because they're communicating with you.
Love it. There's so many things, we could go forever.
I know. It's really kind of like finding your own groove. I always feel like this is my groove. How I work my kvCORE, it may not be the same way that you work your kvCORE, but it's all getting the job done. And there's so much automation that's happening behind the scenes that I don't have to worry too much about those leads that are slipping through the cracks, because they're not, because I've set them up in a way that I can just go back and manage them. So Bo, I hope that helped you on your question. Did I miss anything there, Bo? Do you need a follow-up? Can you demo this? Not sure what you want me to demo there. It's a phone number. What did I miss?
I don't know.
Glenda, let's go turn on your microphone and see exactly what you want me to demo, because I'm happy to. Just need a little.
Is that the smart number associated with that account?
I don't know. Hi, Glenda. Go ahead and unmute your microphone. I'll give you a second to find it. It is a lot. Sometimes people say it's like drinking water from a fire hose, but you know what? It's one sip at a time.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Glenda. Yeah.
Hi. Bo had a question about creating group market reports and saving it and sending it out.
That would be actually a squeeze page. So you'd go into the lead engine and you would create, you're really creating a link that creates a market report for a specific area that you can use and send to groups of people. So maybe you wanted to, like in that email signature, maybe you wanted a hyperlink for a market report for a certain area. And then you could, right. So you can use this as a way to kind of lead magnet and drive people back to this market report. So maybe my area of coverage includes Carlsbad, because I love Carlsbad, California. So we'll say Carlsbad. Did I spell it right? There it is, Carlsbad. And you can add in a source if you want. I'm going to put this on my email signature. So I'm going to say email sig. That's going to be my email signature source. So if I ever get a lead from it, I'm going to know, hey, this came from my email signature. You can build in a hashtag. So if the lead is generated, they're going to come in with a hashtag, right? So the hashtag might be email Carlsbad. Oh, no, wait, sorry. It's got to be all one word. Carlsbad email sig. It's got to be all one word.
Usually what I'll do, especially if you're going to build this into something like a email list as well to help identify people, you might want to call it Carlsbad MR signature or something like that. So you know it's a Carlsbad market report, so you can keep that in front of you. So I think it's like thinking about your naming conventions and being consistent so you know what it's about every time you glance at it.
Right.
Okay, great idea.
So then you generate your link, and here's my link. You get a long one and a short one. They both are exactly the same thing. I'm just going to tell you right now, straight up, use the long one for most everything, especially if you're going to be posting it out on Facebook or one of those social media. But this works really well if you're texting it out to somebody. But I'm just going to copy this to the clipboard. And then if I go back to my profile and maybe I want to add this into that email signature, go back to the bottom. I already have my beautiful signature here, but I guess I could put it down at the bottom here. Could put something underneath it. Get your free market report for Carlsbad here. And then I'm going to hyperlink that market report over there. And by doing this and using that squeeze page link, and again, change it to a new window. Now, if somebody happens to click on this and they get squeezed over to, that's why we call them squeeze pages, by the way, it squeezes them over to someplace on your website. Then, so there it is. So if somebody clicks on it, it's going to squeeze them over to that market report that I've created, but they're not going to be able to get it until they sign in with their email. And guess what I'm going to get now? A brand new lead, right?
And
so this is, that's how it works.
And someone was asking, so can I mass apply a market report to existing contacts? So right now, to add a market report, it is a one-by-one manual action. However, if you want to give folks a chance to sign up for a market report in the signature, or even taking that squeeze link that Kelly just built, you could send that out in a mass email or mass text code or a newsletter, even a QR code, a custom
smart campaign
code. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways you can.
I would probably send it out. That's a great way to mass text it or mass email it to somebody, or use a short code if you want to mass text it. Just say, hey, I want to sign you up for a free market report. Just go ahead and use this link to sign up for it. And then, they can sign up there to get that one.
Also, if you're going to market it to people who are already in your database, you could turn the registration off for them and send it to 0. Or is there a registration prompt that you can change on the market report?
No,
or do we have to edit the link itself?
You'd have to edit the link, I think, and this is the link. It doesn't really have anything in there.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
That's the whole reason you do the market report from here rather than doing it here. I know. It would be kind of cool if you could.
I'm going to talk to Walt and see if there's a way around that. I'm going to try to find out.
Okay. Always never hurts to ask, right?
Yeah.
What was that sign in to get the report automatic, or did you set it up that way beforehand? I did it through a squeeze page link. I created a squeeze link in the lead engine under build a squeeze, and you have some options. You can do these types of options. I chose market report. You pick the area, add your source and a hashtag if you want one, and then just click generate link, and it pulled up a link. This is the actual link that it created, this one right here. And then I used this link and I added it into that hyperlink, Janet. So hopefully that helps. Okay, well, we got about two more minutes. Christian, anything we missed? Anything slipped through the cracks?
No, it doesn't look like any questions have come by, but just to emphasize this, guys, I am going to be sharing this little Google document link here, and it will have today's recording on it posted maybe in about 30 minutes to an hour. And then we'll also have a video, this video go up to our YouTube as well. So you guys will be able to copy this and just jump over, view our channel when you get a chance. I just like, sharing this because, hey, we've got a lot of information going out here, and it can be a little overwhelming trying to just keep track of it all. So with that being said, if you just want a simple overview, check out our YouTube channel, but these are the details where all of our recordings and topics and tools are there.
We believe that sharing is caring. We give it to you. So feel free to use this. Yeah.
I just, Christian, I just sent you that list of articles that I shared with everyone that they couldn't click on. So if you could drop that on the YouTube link or somehow, that would be awesome.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you're looking for any of the ones I've done, I'm Kelly Bajarski, so you can find my previously stored ones here. Check them out on the YouTube channel. There's also, this is actually the entire doc that we use for all of the Agent Quick Start recording sessions as well. So if you happen to miss, Bo, I know you're working through a lot of these. I saw you on a webinar earlier today with Christine. If you want to go back or skip ahead, you can check out some previously recorded additional quick starts from here. So we got you covered as far as training goes. We want you to dive as deep as you'd like to into kvCORE or stay in the shallow end. Just make sure you update that profile, those 5 things.
Dip that toe.
That's right. Tic-tac-toe. That's all you need to do.
No, dip the toe.
Dip the toe into the kvCORE pool.
That's right.
That's right. How do we locate the spreadsheet? Yeah, just click on the link that's right above you, Ross, and it should open it up in a window on your desktop. And you'll be able to access that spreadsheet, which is this one right here. And I would even bookmark it if I were you. Save it on your desktop. I've got a nice little folder here where I keep all my open Q&A stuff, and this link is in there as well. So yeah, then you can use it, or you can also just jump right into our YouTube channel and please subscribe. We're always looking for new subscription members. So. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope this was helpful. I always like to ask this. I hope you don't mind, Christian. I'm just going to ask one more question to everybody. Raise your hand if you learned something new today. Was it worth the price of admission? Raise your hand.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
I love it. All right, good. Then we're on the right track, everybody. Well, hopefully we'll see you on the next open Q&A, or I'm doing part 3 of the Agent Quick Start session tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. You can sign up through the training calendar on your kvCORE dashboard. Feel free to join me there, and we will see you later. Sarah, you know what? Thank you so much. I think you guys rock too. Have a great day, everybody. Now get off this webinar and go sell a house.
Goodbye.
Bye.